Hey everybody, it's Kenny K here again, and I wanted to bring you a new movie from 1980, 81. Sorry, The Incubus. I took some copious notes because this is a rather somewhat complicated movie, but oh so disturbing. It's basically it gets a 5.5, and I wouldn't see this movie again because I don't like this sort of disturbing killing. Basically, the killings are violent but extremely violent rapes. You don't see the rapes, what you do see are the aftermaths and kill. So, rape, kill. That's the scenes always. And they're pumped full of semen, but like pumped full of semen, like 5 or 10 guys pumped their jizz in her and ruptured the uterus, and you can see the like when you see the body, you can see the blood flowing from her privates. So you don't see the privates, but you see the blood coming out, and that's pretty nasty. Now, here comes the thing: the acting. It gets 5.5. The acting is great. John Cassavete, who plays, he is apparently an old timer, a known old timer. And director John Hughes is also a known director to make sort of disturbing movies sometimes, but also really good ones and creepy ones. He plays Sam Cordell. He has a daughter, Jenny Cordell, and he's the. Well, I'm always thinking, is he a doctor or is he a coroner? One of the two. I'm not sure. I really am not sure. I think he's a doctor, but he examines the dead victims too. So I'm guessing a doctor. Maybe he's a doctor and a coroner. I don't know. I don't know. But he likes to work together with this washed up the deputy called Hank Walden, but he wants to. He's grizzled. He's repulsed by these murders. He's just. It begins with a couple fooling around on the beach, and the girl starts to in a quarry, beach, water in a quarry, and the girl just in the middle of the night starts to go play hide and seek. She's in a shack, and someone or something is coming towards her, and she gets raped. We don't see that. We hear the guy. You hear her screaming. The guy is coming towards her, and he gets a 2x4 with nails straight through the head. You see, so the gore is there. The gore is there. And with the rapes, it's more of the aftermath gore. But then after that, you have a librarian who really gets, I mean, sexually assaulted in the worst way possible. She gets thrown from left to right. It's clearly that something not human is doing this. And then eventually she gets raped, and they find her full of blood and bruises in her face, and eventually again. Then the coroner, Sam Cordell, says, listen, he thinks that it's not one guy. He thinks it's 5 guys because there's so much semen in there. But then when he checks the semen, he finds out that the semen is red semen. So it's tadpoles, but instead of white, they usually are white. You got a load of red tadpoles, and it's all from the same person that did this. So it's only one person that drops a load of 10 people in these women. And the only one who survived is the first girl who gets I think she survived because the boyfriend came and he was hit with the 2x4 with the nails. He died, and I think he got the killer got disturbed, you know, doing his thing and fucked fucked off, you know. And I think so. I think that's the reason why she was alive, because every victim did not survive. Laura Kincaid is this reporter, and she's sort of taking these pictures, and they're saying so many women raped and killed in the Gazette, and she's basically fucking the police department because they're making them look like a bunch of fools. And then she meets with Sam Cordell, and they have this conversation. Listen, can we talk? And he's just try to not, you know, be so vicious in your newspaper, really trying hard. And eventually she okay, but then she falls smitten by Sam. But Sam, okay, at some point there's this scene where Sam takes Laura to his home, and I don't remember why. I think it was after a killing again. I think she was always there after that. She was always there at the scene of the crime with Sam and Hank. And his daughter Jenny at some point gets involved because her boyfriend Tim Galen, and his mom Agatha, although it's not really his mom, but that's a separate story. He gets these dreams, these awful dreams of like a torture chamber, a man in a cloak reading something, saying confess, confess. Somebody else in a cloak is writing something in a book, and it's always the same dream. And every dream, there's this other girl on the slab, but he doesn't see their faces. And every time that happens, somebody dies, and he thinks he's the killer. So he's trying to run away, trying not to sleep. And Agatha is trying to listen. No, it's not you. 100%, it's not you. Now, Tim is the boyfriend of Jenny Cordell, and that's the reason why she gets involved, because at some point he gets involved because he just flaps out, "I'm the killer, I'm the killer." I mean, so yeah, of course he gets some attention. So they take a semen sample of his, and it doesn't match, so he can't be the killer. So that's already but there's something connected with him and the murders, right? Now, the scene that I wanted to say after another girl got raped, and was after that scene, there's this awful, actually, if you think about it, an awful scene. You've got a 3 people family, a dad, 2 daughters. One daughter is this sexy daughter, and the other one is in a wheelchair. And they got a dog. He's barking in the barn. They ask the dad to check on him. He takes his gun with him. He sees the dog. Luckily, I didn't see that. Dead. And then he gets a shovel right through the neck, and he shoots his fucking own leg off with a shotgun. So, like I said, gore, still lore. So he gets thrown out of the barn like a rag doll, and then you see, and that's the cool thing about this movie. Every time a victim is getting killed, you see this POV shot of something or someone going through. It's definitely just one person. So the coroner Sam was right that it's not 10 people. It's just one going through the halls. And then he goes to the sexy girl. She's showering, and he kills the sexy girl and fucks her up like crazy, just rapes her and fucks her up like crazy, so much that the girl in the wheelchair comes to help. She can't open the door. The blood's coming from underneath the door. She can see her sister lying there in blood, and then the door blasts off its hinges against the girl in the wheelchair, and she was raped, but dry raped. What the fuck? A girl in a fucking wheelchair. So, like I said, disturbing stuff. You don't see it, luckily, because that would be. But after that, the chorus is a fucking dad and his two daughters. One in a wheelchair got killed, and Sam was completely, you know, the daughter got dry humped, basically. She didn't get any semen in her because probably because she was in a wheelchair, but she was sexually assaulted. And the other one, same as always, raped, pumped full of semen, and then killed. So, and every time Tim has that dream again. And like I said, there's a point when they want to take Tim and they want to see Tim. They want to kind of induce something in him that he starts to think about what he sees. Instead of going to sleep, think about what he sees and then see what happens. Now, like I said, so there's this, after that scene with the wheelchair, Sam is, down, and Hank, he's kind of losing. He can't dig it anymore. He's too old. He's old. Yeah. It was already ready to sign in his resignation with the chief because he knew because of the the Gazette with all the victims, the police force is a joke and this and that. But then after a while, he couldn't solve things. He said, also because big assholes from the big city came, and you know the procedure, right? Like police is there, the local police, and the FBI gets involved, and the FBI is now the boss, and everybody has to fuck off. That's basically what happened there. And the guy, the coroner, this state coroner, he says, no, she was assaulted by at least 5 guys, at least. No, there's only one. No, fuck you. And there are gonna be 35 state troopers here, and you're all gonna see how embarrassing your force is, this and that. And Hank is like completely had it. He's like, fuck you. So we lose Hank in the process. We have Laura, we have Jenny, and we have Tim. Now, what happens is at some point they go back to their library, and Laura found some information about some kind of demon called the incubus. The incubus is a demon that preys on the human flesh and needs to reprocreate to make little new incubi. But the problem is that often the demon is too wild and kills the person. That's what I'm saying. I think the first girl who survived, that she's gonna be pregnant by a load of incubines. So the incubi looks like you can see it at some point in the movie, but very short. I think they did that. They did that on purpose, because to not make it all too fake. Okay, the body is green and it looks like the creature of the Black Lagoon, and the head looks sort of like the creature of the Black Lagoon, and a combination of the creep from Jeepers Creeper, with the flaps here, the wasn't the creep was the killer, right? From Jeepers Creepers. When at the end, when you can see him without his clothes on, with his wings, and he has this, and he makes this noise, and it's like these things open. Well, it's sort of combination like that with sharp teeth, red eyes. So this is the creature that's basically raping everybody. She learned that through a book. Agatha, the mom of Tim, goes to the basement, takes out a dagger, an ancient dagger, and she explains that she is not the grandmother of Tim. That Tim, she was a witch hunter, and that Tim was born from an actual witch. And the witch was killed, but Tim was already born, and she couldn't kill him. So she took care over him. Now that blade is a sort of ritual blade where you can kill witches, but also demons with. So she gives that blade to Tim, and she says, she's after that she's just mumbling from, you can't do this to him, you can't, this is just torture, you can't, to the poor boy. And she keeps nagging, but she's left at some point to go to her house, stay there, and that's what happens. But then they take Tim with them, Laura and Jenny. Jenny goes up to her room to go get sleep. She was tired. And here's the thing. So what happens is Hank is also AWOL at this point. So Agatha too is just Tim, Sam Cordell. Spoilers, by the way. Okay, for the people who don't want it, I recommend this movie. Although the disturbing images keep mostly by the aftermath, but you don't see like vaginas or something like that, but you do see the blood in the area seeping out, so gotta warn you for that. It's a very atmospheric movie, very tense, and the acting is really good from every person. Laura is this kind of insecure woman, and Sam is this guy. Like I said, when there was, I forgot to mention that when he, after the wheelchair girl gets killed, they go to his place and he's looking and he's attracted to her, and she's kind of attracted to him, but she's like insecure, and he's standing there watching at her like a creep. I thought it was and he was like really like this, so his head down, almost like, I'm gonna fucking fuck you till you bleed, you bitch. I thought he was gonna kill her. I thought he was a rapist, raping skill. No, eventually they kiss and make out, but then he says, but he's weird, like they're hot and heavy, they're gonna have sex, but then he says, I gotta go back to work. Before he has sex. He does that twice, I think, in the movie. He does that twice. Making out with her, you know, tonguing her, blah, 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 blah. And then, I gotta go back to work. So, he's a guy who doesn't have the blue balls. She gives him the blue balls. She gives her the blue balls. The blue for JJ. Now, okay, at some point, okay, they bond grows stronger. She always wants to be with him, and then this situation happens when they have Tim. So this is spoiler territory now. I spoiled a lot actually, but this is the real spoiler. This is the ultimate spoiler. So for people who don't want to watch, like I said, great acting, great atmosphere, tension, a mystery surrounding everything. Is it a man? Is it 10 men? Is it a demon? The incubus? Title says itself, the incubus. Who knows? Check it out. Okay, spoilers. nice. Now, he's trying to induce something. Now, at some point, uh, he asks Laura to sit by Jenny to protect her or something if something would happen. And she says, okay, I'll bring her a Coke. So she enters Jenny's room. Here is your Coke. I brought you a Coke. And she's sitting next to her and she's drinking this. And he is like, I gotta kill, I gotta kill, I gotta. And then he pushes through Sam. Sam runs behind him. He goes upstairs right to Jenny's room. And he attacks Laura instead of Jenny. And before he can attack Laura, Sam takes away the knife and stabs him with it. So now what happens? And that's just the magic of this director. How he did this is such fucked up, so fucked up ending. Okay, so we see Laura. Oh, I never want to leave you again. I want to stay with you. She's coming closer. You see her face transforming in the fucking incubi. Then she comes closer again as Laura. Incubi, Laura, incubi, Laura. The dream that Tim had was the incubi comes through the door. Through the door, he just breaks down the door, kills the two priests because they were priests, not bad people. And that's when he goes crazy. He knows Laura is the fucking incubi. And what makes it even more fucked up is when she's hugging him, he sees Jenny lying in a bloody bed with blood coming out of her privates. She just raped Jenny and killed her while they were dealing downstairs. What the fuck kind of ending is that? And then we focus on his eye, knowing that he probably will be killed by Laura at this point. Because she's not afraid to kill men. So there you go. Laura was always the incubi. How fucked up is that? A woman then. And I don't understand how the raping process would. I think the incubi itself is male. So when she raped these, so the incubi actually had his vessel was a woman, which made it more hard to catch because raping and semen, you need a man. Or you have different kind of methods. Maybe you can have a syringe or something, but then okay, that it's definitely was rape because the uterus was torn. But I think so you know that Sam's gonna get killed. You know, Sam sees the body. We close up to his eye, and he's like, his eye is completely open. And we know she's hugging him, and we know the incubi is a man. I mean, he's a male demon who's not shy for killing men too. So, not raping them, but killing them. So I'm gathering that the incubi was when Laura transformed in the incubi, that she did the raping. The incubi did the raping, and then back to herself. Great movie. I liked it, and that's why I'm giving it a 5.5. But I don't like that rape shit. I'm not a big fan of rapes and shit like that, and rape and kill, rape, torture shit. Snuff. I don't like all that shit in horror movies. Yeah, or also following a killer. That's something that I also don't like. Like Maniac, you know. I know that a lot of people like it, but with a Spinell there, you know, it's. But I just can't. I can't. I don't like it. I see it once, and I thought it's a it's a greasy guy, Spinell. He's a greasy guy. I mean, he plays the role well, but he's like super greasy. He's like sweating all. I saw the last horror movie, which is a really weird movie. I won't spoil it for you, but it actually doesn't end as dramatic as it's Joe Spinell, right? In the Maniac movie, I mean, it's weird. It's weird. Although in the Maniac movie, he opens his eyes again, right? So, in any case, Incubi, the Incubi from 1981. Look it up. You got my thumbs up. Just keep an open mind that there's rape involved, violent rape. Don't see it. Do see, not with all the victims, but with certain victims, the aftermath. And especially his daughter. You will see the aftermath of his daughter while he protects Laura, the one who killed her daughter, raped and killed her daughter. So, there you go. See you next time. Hope you liked the video. Subscribe, comment what you think about it. See you next time.